Man, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I don't even, but talking right at this uno momento, and it's making buzzy noises, but it's supposed to sound good. So hopefully that it is sounding good. I mean, was it sounding bad from the get-go? I'm wondering if it's just okay. We'll try this again. On behalf of every staff, I apologize for the delay, but we're back again, and hopefully I don't halve the viewer rate a second time on this very important prime time slot. So, this is Keen Heptalogy. I played through all the games from the DOS era, 1990 to 1991. Commander Keen's a video game made by id Software before they went on to make the real classics like Wolf 3D and Doom. Let's get going. All right. So, countdown. Once again, unless it's still rolling, I can't see it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a go. Okay, so welcome to Commander Keen, starting with Episode 1, Marooned on Mars. This is a video game that we play all the time. Is it? I have a feeling it's breaking up again. Maybe I should, like, start it manually? Maybe the... Whatever. I'm just going to keep going. If somebody tells me it's bad, I'll just go. So Commander Keen is this titular fellow right here. And we're playing video games, and it's pretty good. So now we grab the pogo stick, and the pogo stick is the most important thing that we ever grab. The game, in fact, assumes that we have it from here on out, all the games in the series. If we didn't grab it, it would be like non-canon, so that'd be fine. So now we have the pogo stick, and now we can go fast. That's like... That's what we're doing right now. We're going fast. Because the pogo stick lets us jump far, high... What is it? Far, high, and fast, as a matter of fact. Our jumping skill is even better, so that's cool. And right there, we performed the slide shot, the only slide shot we ever do in the entire series. That's kind of true. We might do it in Keen 3. It depends on how bad things go in Keen 3. So, yes. Dog. That is a dog. It's a blue dog. It's called a Vortican. The Vorticans are the antagonist of this original trilogy of games, titled Invasion of the Vorticans. And, oh yeah, there's another slide shot. I'm really good at remembering what I'm doing. There we go. And we'll see them in the next 2 episodes as well. They're most annoying, I guess, in episode 3 because of the apartment complex, which I'll talk about when we see it. Yay. But in Commander Keen Episode 1, we're just running around collecting parts for our spaceship that has been mysteriously dismantled when we arrived on Mars. Which was actually mysteriously dismantled by the Vorticans. That's why they're like the bad guys. This is the only major skip in the entire first game. I don't even think it has a name, but basically we have just a wee bit of room to squeeze into the top of the level there that otherwise doesn't exist, so that's fine. Otherwise, Commander Keen 1 is a pretty straightforward run. The difference between it and, like, the TAS is only a scant few seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Although there's different timings for TAS. I never really quite figured it out. But it's a very optimized run when done very well. I'm not doing it that well, but, you know, it's still pretty good. But we're firing shots. We're playing video games. This is a marathon where we have to use shot fired. And look at that robot. He's kicking in. He's got his shots fired. This is good stuff. Commander Keen is a platformer that's a bit wonky, especially from, I don't know, it's kind of like a Super Mario Bros. 3 style, where you don't have your instantaneous feel. You can't just go left to right immediately, and doubly so in the air. In the later games, they kind of change it so that the ground physics are instantaneous, which is kind of nice. Don't... Oh, okay, we still got one shot. I mean, what are the odds that I'll actually mess that up? It's like nothing. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Naturally, now that I say it, we will, but whatever. We'll just keep going. It's fine. Everything is fine. I even know where backup shots are, even if it'll cost me like a minute. So, Anyway, in this final level, we have some fun jumps to make. There's nothing really special. Honestly, Keen 1, there isn't much to talk about. Usually I say something about, like the fact that, hey, by the way, did you know that John Carmack and Romero and the gang pitched to Nintendo to port Super Mario Bros. 3 to the PC? And Nintendo was like, no way. So they went on and made Commander Keen, and then they made Doom. And now the Nintendo Switch is hosting Doom for the 2016, so it's like full circle. Anyway, we just crushed that Vortican commander under like a giant concrete block, picked up his bottle of booze, and now we're off to our spaceship to watch the end cutscene. And during the Heptalogy, I go through these unskippable cutscenes to explain things like the plot, because, I mean, it's a Heptalogy run. It's 6 games. It doesn't even take like half an hour to beat them all if you go really fast. So I figured this is a good time. Commander Keen is in fact Billy Blaze, 8-year-old human child with an IQ of 314. And yes, that is a reference to pi. And when he's not just being a normal kid running around doing fancy stuff, he puts on his older brother's football helmet, jumps into his Bean with Bacon Mega Rocket, transforms into Commander Keen, Defender of the Universe. So, in this episode, the dramatic plot is that we have to make sure our ship works so that we can get home in time for curfew, or else we get grounded, and that would suck. I mean, you can't even go to Mars when you're grounded, and that's exactly where the term comes from. You see, when it was grounded, it was like the spaceship is grounded, and you can't go anywhere. So that's exactly what it means. So he also brought one of those Yorps home. I never really explained them, but the one-eyed, the stock one-eyed, one-toothed green dude. He brought one of them home, and he's going to name it Spot, or at least he took somebody's dog bowl that had the name Spot on it. I don't know. So that's cool. And as it turns out, and he says right here, there is no sleep for Commander Keen. There's a Vortican mothership over planet Earth right now, which he noticed on the way back from Mars. So we're going to head straight up to that and see what's happening, because, I mean, these are the guys that just wrecked our spaceship while we were just casually enjoying the surface of Mars without any means of breathing in space. But we're going to go straight on to episode 2. It's cool. Don't miss it. Oh, wait, we're doing it right now. Great. So, in episode 2, titled The Earth Explodes, or as I like to resubtitle it, Not If Commander Keen Can Help It, we're preventing the Earth from exploding. I thought I was clear on that. In this episode, it's a fair bit more complicated, it's a fair bit harder, it's going to be a bit longer of an episode as well. And we got a lot of fun tricks to do. This is definitely my favorite run of the first 3 games, which fit into what I call the Vortican engine, named after, you know, the Vortican's game. Oh, where is this guy going? Oh, no. Ho, ho, ho. He stuns you if you touch him, so we just had to play it a little safe there. So for this first guy, I like to be safe. Those are the Vortican elites. They also shoot, in addition to jumping and being a general pain in your capooster. But in this episode, we are destroying the various Tantalus centers that are going to shoot. You can basically think of each Tantalus center as its own, like, Death Star planet-destroying beam. So that's pretty cool. And we have to get all 8 of them, because there are some people like redundancy, and they don't just put all of their resources into a single planet-sized spaceship. So anyway, you see that sign over to the left? It's kind of a sign. It's got little funky symbols on it. It's the standard galactic alphabet, and it's basically alien moon speak, but it can immediately be translatable in A to Z in English. Like that sign reads no. This one reads Tantalus Center up above. The exit signs read exit. This stuff has to be kind of intuited unless you find the secret levels in Keen's 3 or 6 and/or 6. And eventually you learn what these things say. Like, for instance, the signs that are read next to guns say, "This is neat." Of course this is neat. Guns are amazing. That's why we have a shots fired marathon. Although Keen will learn eventually that these particular shots fired are incredibly deadly and will improve his methods by creating a neural stunner, which only, like, doesn't kill enemies. I guess it sometimes kills them, but mostly just robots. But right now, we're basically just collecting alien guns and using them against them. So that's cool. And now we're getting to the hard stuff. The beginning stuff's kind of just sort of introductory, but now we get some real fun jumpitudes. The red ball people climbing up the walls are called... Oh crap, what are they called? I don't remember. But they're cleaner droids. How do I not remember what they're called? Oh, whatever. It's fine. Maybe some... Can I make these jumps? This is what I was talking about when I meant that this is a little harder. The jumps we have to perform right here are based on the impossible pogo trick, which is a fun little trick that you use in this game by quickly pressing the pogo key followed by the jump key. And that lets you perform a very high jump that you would otherwise not be able to do. In fact, the developers didn't really intend it. Normally, you're supposed to jump, you're supposed to let the jump happen, and then, what, is bad things happening again? So, what was I talking? Oh, possible pogo trick, right. So normally you're supposed to just jump, fall down, and then pogo again, but here you can instantaneously pogo, and it's great, so... So right here, I have a very specific thingy to do. It's fine. Okay, good. That's actually hard to do. It's not only hard to do, there's a chance that the enemy will just randomly jump into you and kill you. So whatever, it's fine. Oh yeah, I never mentioned this. The enemies in this game are 100% random and there's nothing you can do about it. Basically, the things I've learned is ever so slightly going slower at the cost, or at the benefit of gaining a great higher, more chance of surviving, which is great. Right here, we have to perform a special little camera trick of keeping the screen low enough, because if we don't, the Vortican elites don't spawn, and if they don't spawn when we fall, we will jump right on top of them. And Keen is 8 years old, and these dogs are like 8 feet tall, so that's not a good mix. Anyway, this is the hardest trick in the entire run. We're already at it. This is called the air jump, and let's see if I can pull it off. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I got it like 3 out of 4 times in practice, and I said, "Oh, that's fine. That's perfect. We'll do it just fine." But no, we'll see how many minutes I lose here. I'm not even kidding. The air jump is a sub-frame trick with no... there we go, third trick. Good. It's a sub-frame trick with no... It's got like no setup, basically. There's a spot you can sit, but that's about it. And due to the way that subframe would work in this game, you basically have a 2 in 3 chance of actually making the jump. There's no subframe input, it's just subframe. It's a sub-input trick. I don't know what you want to call that. It's pretty great. Oh, this guy's taking forever. You want to make sure you get over here, and come on. I want to make sure I get this elevator cycle. This game has elevator cycles, whereas a lot of enemies and stuff kind of... Oh, this is going to be peachy keen. Come on. Okay. And shoot him. So this game has elevator cycles, whereas a lot of enemies only start moving when they actually show up on screen. A lot of the platforms... Elevators. The platforms, these like left to right thingamabobbers, are moving as soon as the level starts. So you gotta figure out where you are right there and stuff. Anyway, we turn off the lights because Vorticans refuse to jump in the dark. I don't know if this is like an instinctual habit, some kind of learned trait. Actually, it is a learned trait now that I think about it, because the Vortican youngins will jump in the dark. So this is something that is bred into them, and it is to my advantage. So now for the final level here, we just have a fun little time and make some jumps right here that are all very precise. Performing the movement in this game. See, in Super Mario Bros. 3, I'm not going to say that the speed run is easy or anything, because it's clearly not, and it's a much longer run, even in the any percents. But this game is far more vertically oriented, generally speaking, than a Super Mario Bros. 3 game. So to have to deal with that kind of physics in a vertically oriented game is kind of rough. And anyway, we just run past those guys by moving the camera up too high so they don't spawn in time. So that's cool. And then we beat the game. Having deactivated the Vortican mothership, Commander Keen is victorious. He makes his way back home because he's tired and he's 8 and he's like way past his bedtime. Had we been playing the game a little more thoroughly, we would have found a couple of Vortican elders held in captivity, and they would have told us, or at least one of them, would tell us that the Vorticans are not typically an antagonistic, aggressive, evil, vitriolic species, but are currently being mind-controlled by an entity known as the Grand Intellect. And this Grand Intellect is currently residing on their homeworld, Vortican the Sixth. I don't know why aliens always name their planets directly after themselves. Should we like call Earth like Human 3? I don't know. But anyway, so and there's our pet Yorp Spot, maybe. So now that we've determined that the Vorticans can be stopped by simply getting rid of this mind control business, we're going to head to Vortican 6. But not before we have our nourishing, vitamin-fortified bowl of sugar stoopies. This is an important part of every child's breakfast, and I encourage you to make sure that you buy your sugar stoopies. You know, keep the dream alive. So great. Heptalogy is 7 games, by the way. So now we finish the trilogy with episode 3, titled Keen Must Die. Again, I must also subtitle it Not If Keen Can Help It. And the very first thing we have to do in this episode is not get trampled by this apartment complex. This is the hardest part of the run, and hopefully it's... Come on. I don't like killing the Vortimon, but sometimes she makes it happen. Okay, where did you go? Come on. And great. Okay, so we just lost like 15 seconds. If you want to have a good run, you get through there in like 3. So that's pretty cute. Pretty cool. Okay, make those jumps. So now that we're done with the hardest part of the run, everything will just go smoothly, other than maybe the boss. But that's fine. Commander Keen has bosses sometimes. Oh, okay, good, thank you. In this run, we really just go straight to the boss. There's little else to do. Whereas in Keen 1, we had to collect 4 items, and in Keen 2, we had to destroy 8. Here, we only have to do one thing. And just to be absolutely 100% safe, I am picking up all these ammos. Normally you don't, but I just want to shot all the fires. So we're going to do that. So now we run past a bunch of teleporters. If you know exactly where you're going, you can find this little phallic part of the land. And make your way to the Caves of Oblivion, where, if you notice, there's a sign. That sign reads, Go Up. If you don't know Standard Galactic Alphabet, well, you're kind of screwed, because there is actually no way to complete this level other than going up past the Caves of Oblivion, straight on to the secret exit, which is the only exit you can actually get to. I kid you not, this is how it is designed. This is the only way to beat this level. There's like a good half an hour inside the Caves of Oblivion, but there's nothing to do other than die. So now we find our arch rival, the Grand Intellect, Mortimer McMire. Morty over here. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked anyway. Oh, what are you doing, Meep? Come on. The Meeps are very random. I said enemies are very random in these games. Anyway, Mortimer McMire is Commander Keen's arch rival. Here we go. With an IQ of 315, and he's constantly trying to destroy the universe, or whatever. Destroy things in general. So we got this mangling machine. Oh, God! No scope! Yeah, we did it. I mean, all of the shots are no scope, but there we go. So now we can get out of that terribly decorated, wallpapered house. And we just saved all the Vorticans, because the mangling machine is destroyed. Mortimer McMire's been taken out. Brainwave belts are off. Apparently, they were brainwave belts. I'm guessing Mortimer just said, this is the latest fashion. And he just gave everybody these belts. And maybe he also gave them pants, so they needed belts. I don't know. They're dog people. Why do they need pants? So, yes, I and the other Vorticans you haven't slaughtered, which is fairly apt given what we're doing and not killing them generally in this run. We get the big V. It's great. So now that we're done with the Vortican engine, the trilogy of games, Invasion of the Vorticans, we get to move on to a little prettier of an engine. But before we get to its full-blown form, we're going to see something of a prototype. we'll see that in the game Commander Keen Dreams, which is right here. This is the lost episode, usually. Episode 3.5. It's the one that people generally don't know if they know Commander Keen. But it is a shareware, so I wouldn't be surprised if people knew it. So right off the bat, we perform a special little trick to get that guy off of here. And now we're going to start breaking these games. Before we were really using glitches, now we're going to be using a lot of glitches. And these games just get even more and more glitched as we go on. It's a really great build-up. So right there, I'm trying to remember what it's called. I believe it's called a death exit. Yes, it is. I'm getting an indicator from my brain that, yes, this is called a death exit. The way that a death exit works is that on the left and right sides of every single screen in this game, unless otherwise explicitly removed, are tiles that when you touch them actually trigger the end of the level. This is to provide, or at least in my belief, that it provides a more organic exit. If we, again, compare to, say, Super Mario Brothers 1 or 3 or something, rather than, you know, hoisting a flag or, you know, just abstractly collecting lottery tickets, we actually leave the other side. However, this exists everywhere, like I mentioned. If you can find a way to get past the invisible barrier that usually prevents you from, you know, activating it whenever you want, you can just leave a level. And the way we do that in this game typically is through what's called the death exit. The death exit works in Commander Keen Dreams by by allowing yourself to get killed on the very right side of the map, like so. And by doing that, Keen starts to fall asleep, which is his death animation in this game. When that happens, his hitbox actually shifts, his collision box that detects where he is. And that moves just enough through that invisible barrier to the point where, you know, we just finished the level. That's great. So we're going to use that a lot. We're going to use that a lot in this game. But we also have to do something else in this game, which is kind of a theme in Commander Keen games generally speaking. We got to collect stuff. I'm just going to be careful there. In this game, we have to collect what are called Boobus Bombs. Boobus Bombs, come on, there you go. Boobus Bombs are the only way to defeat the boss of this game, Boobus Tuber. By the way, I actually managed to sneak in a game that doesn't have any guns, which is this game, but whatever, it's fine. Don't say that the organizers are terrible or anything. It's all on me. So, but the bombs, they're close enough, right? They're booms fired. That's probably fine. So yeah, whatever. So we've collected what, like 6? Yes, we've collected 6 right now. We've also collected 2 keys, and in this game, you're not really supposed to collect keys. You're supposed to use them in the level that they gain. So, you know, we just... Oh, okay, good. That guy's a pea pod. Sometimes he pees on you, and by that I mean he shoots a pea out of his mouth. It's always fun when that happens, because it's like a hype moment. Whatever. So that's the only time I ever really remember to save it in this entire Heptalogy, and that's... I very rarely miss that jump, but it's just kind of a habit that I do to save the game, so whatever. So there we go. We've collected all 12 Boobus Bombs. We can go straight to Boobus Tuber's castle. Castle Tuberia. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's Castle Tuberia. It's the land of Tuberia. I figured it was. Whatever. Oh, look at those eyes moving on that portrait. Oh, they didn't actually move in time. Dang it. All right. So, because we've collected 2 keys that we weren't supposed to, we no longer have to collect the 2 keys in this level. If we ever die at any point in the run, we don't get to keep those keys. Ha! You missed me. And so we have to be very careful, which is why I tend to save it in that one spot. You might have noticed there's one thing suspiciously missing from this game. Maybe, I don't know. But it's the pogo stick. And the pogo stick is like the most important part of Commander Keen. Holy smokes, that guy. Okay. Man, fine, it's fine. Keep out. Now we're going to fight the biggest boss of all time. Alright, everybody give a round of applause for King Boober. King Boober Tuber. And that was the game. That was it. We beat it. Great. Fantastic. Boober's Tuber's Hash Browns. We turn off the dream machine. I forgot to mention the plot. We're in a dream. But now we're not in a dream. And the president declares a national holiday. I hate broccoli. That's great. Look at those. Look at those titles. It's great. Okay, so now that we're done, and yeah, there's the screen stretching again. I hope that's not actually messing things up too hard. But welcome to Commander Keen, Episode 4, Secret of the Oracle. We got music. Holy crap, we got our pogo back. We got guns again. Shots are being fired. Life is good. And we also got new glitches, like for instance right here, I can bring up that little screen to cause the exit jingle to not happen, and that saves just a wee bit of time. And now we get to perform the true death exit, which is created by saving and loading the game. And when we save and load the game, Keen magically gets his hitbox back that he normally loses when he gets hit by an enemy. So right there, we saved about, I don't know, 20-25 seconds or something by doing that instead of running to the left of the map the whole time. Oh, okay, you moved to right, that's fine. Kind of screwed that up, but it's fine. Keen 4 is probably the most challenging of all the Keen runs. Partially because it's the longest, partially because there is some really nasty stuff to do in this one. It's pretty hard. But in this episode, I guess I'll start talking about the plot so I don't forget this time. Commander Keen has just enveloped... Yeah, that's a word. That's the word, right? Invented his... oh crap, what is it called? The hypersonic transceiver. I don't know. He invented a radio that picks up radio signals from all across the galaxy. I don't know. It's like a transponder or something. And, whew, that was a close one. Anyway, after listening to a bunch of garbage, like alien soap operas or whatever, he finally tunes into a message that is between two members of a species called the Shikadi that are planning to blow up the entire Milky Way galaxy under the orders of the Ganalek. And Commander Keen hearing about this is like, holy crap, I gotta go save the galaxy. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually get any of the message about where or when or how this is happening. So, first he takes a pit stop to Gnosticus 4, which is currently where we are. And, where there's an Oracle machine that can tell you literally anything you want to know about anything. Okay. And, unfortunately, the Shikadi have anticipated this exact maneuver and have imprisoned the, council members required to activate the Oracle. And banish them to the Shadowlands. So that's where we are right now, the Shadowlands. Wait for it. Good. So we're rescuing council members. It's basically Keen 2, except instead of killing things, we're rescuing things. So I guess it's like Keen 1, except we're rescuing 8 things. Whatever. It's a very collectathon type of game. Okay. That's a Sky Pest. They are incredibly random. Enemies are still super duper random in these games. Maybe not as bad, but they're still really bad. Like, these slugs can go left or right at the start. 50-50 chance. Gotta be ready for any of it. Ugh, man. Okay, on to this level. This level is basically it doesn't look like it, but it's actually an auto-scroller. Because there's a platform cycle that has like a 25-30 second wait time. If we do relatively well, we'll probably be waiting about 10 seconds, but it also means we got 10 seconds of buffer if we need it. Okay, killing you. This is usually where I like to talk about the enemies. The Sky Pests are super annoying, but we don't see them very often. Where did the second one go? I hope he's just gone. But the other annoying enemy is the slug, the poison slug right here. The poison slug is annoying because it secretes a poison at random points whenever it feels like it. We usually call this pooping here in the speed running of Keen business. And when they poop, it takes 4 seconds for that poop to dissipate. So, you can lose a lot of time. Like, these 3 slugs alone could cost me 10 to 12 seconds, which is about as much time as I have for that particular platform cycle. Oh god, are we, like, barely gonna make it? I think we're barely making it. Yeah, we barely made it. All that slug poop really got in the way there. That's fine, though. There's a music, I use the music to determine when I would need to fall. So if I would just barely make it, I know exactly to fall anyway. We're going to wait on this one, because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. That one's not nearly as bad to miss a cycle on. So there we go. This entire level is governed by 2 platform cycles. So there's not much to it. And then it's just an auto-scroller of right here. But first we get to eat all these radioactive donuts. Keen is just such a lucky 8-year-old for getting to eat all these candies. Like this gumball over there that I didn't actually get. Is that a gumball? I think it's one of those giant candies. Like, it's like it got a chewy, gummy type inside, but it's got a really hard, sugary outside layer. I don't those have a name to them? Like, jubes or something? I don't know. This level, whereas the last level was a giant auto-scroller that had a ton of randomness in it, this level has, if you play it correctly, no randomness whatsoever. But it's a total pain in the butt to try to optimize correctly. We'll see if I get this first optimization right here. Oh, I just barely got it. That right there, that's a platform cycle, by the way. That tiny little movement of a platform cycle is time to save in this run. This run is very heavily optimized at this point, but due to the randomness in the game, it's not really worth optimizing that much further. So I don't know. Oh yeah, and like the 100 points are like cherry soda bottles. I don't know what red soda is. Oh, well, that was a mess up. Look at all that optimization I just did. So good. So now this part. Let's hope this goes well. This is one of my favorite parts to do well. I don't even know if I gave it a name ever, but it looks kind of cool if it goes well. I kind of messed up the last part. We're just going to take it safe. It's fine, though. But the vertical platforming. Oh, what do I call it? It's like continuous vertical platforming. That's what I call it. Continuous vertical platforming is a technique wherein whenever you're landing in this game, obviously the way that physics work is that when you land, it takes an amount of time to land before you can then make your next jump. Continuous vertical platforming is a technique in which you minimize the amount of time you spend waiting to land, it requires very precise handling of Keen, basically. But it's really fun. So there we go. CVP is really fun. But this is the only game where you really get to use it. The other two, well, they just kind of happen too fast for it to matter. As you will see. Oh man, I hope that Skypest doesn't come and instantly kill me. There's exactly one Skypest in this level that can be a nuisance, but he can end up virtually anywhere in this level. So, oh, that was a good one. The problem is when you get a really good single like CVP jump, you usually mess up the next one because you weren't expecting it to go that well. Okay, good, got that, and good. Nice. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Up, go! Okay, and I guess we're just gonna shoot these guys because they're being mean. Yep, alright. I usually like to try to fun and swag that out, but the slugs were not playing nice, so. This is the pit. I always thought it was like a beehive on the map. Whatever. This contains a special little glitch that we do in this level. This is kind of a fairly unique thing that we get to do, which is caused mostly by developer oversight rather than a fundamental problem in the game. It's more of a mapping error, basically. But right here, we do a very precise setup that hopefully I'll do correctly. Okay. Up we go, through the wall, grab 2 lives, grab this, fall down, and then go to this guy. There we go. We just saved, like, 10 seconds or something. It's hard to explain exactly how all that goes, but we're trying to set things up precisely so that we press the switch at the latest possible time, and then we just have to run our way up to the blue gem. And if we do that, we get the earliest platform set. So, so now we're on the Isle of Fire, and this place is super dangerous and super difficult, unless you're speedrunning, in which case it's, like, really easy. So we do this jump right here. Okay, good. Kane Jr. decided to play nice. Thank you, Kane Jr. Okay. And yeah, level is just over. Normally you gotta run all the way which ways around here and thither. Wither and there. But now we're fine. Oh, and now my favorite part. Oh, this is the main reason I miss running this game. Well of Wishes is the final level of Commander Keen 4, and in order to go fast in this level, you gotta mash. You gotta mash. You hear that mashing? Hold on. Oh, feel that mash. That is some M asterisk A asterisk S asterisk H. H. Sorry. And this is the dope fish. Okay, we got the mash down. Okay, great. I'm actually gonna stop mashing for a moment because I'll need it later. So the dope fish is the second dumbest creature in the universe. And that's pretty fun. Okay, set up. Good. Okay, great. Now we mash. Oh, okay, good. It's really hard to get past that dope fish if you don't mash. And that one. Oh, and then final guy. And good. That's good. So we beat that one. Okay, so that's that. Now my left arm hurts a bit. It's actually more like it's cramping, but whatever. So now Commander Keen has all of the council members where they need to be so they can press the switch. And now the Oracle will tell us what we needed to do in the first place, which is save the galaxy. You guessed it right. This most famous Commander Keen episode is literally a filler episode. The Shikadi are a race of shadow beings from the far side of the galaxy. They are building an Armageddon machine and are planning to blow up the galaxy with it, then rebuild it to suit their needs. They live on the third planet of the Korath system, which is 71,000 light years from Nosticus 4. The Armageddon machine is almost complete, and this is what they look like. So they must look pretty crazy. But that's no problem for Commander Keen. These Shikadi are toast. Meanwhile, back at the beginning of the game, there was some plot that happened. Keen had to stun his parents. No big. No big. Okay, so now that we've uncovered this plot, we can move straight on to Episode 5, the Armageddon Machine. And the first thing we're going to do here is, like, completely glitch out this game. Thank you. Okay, so we just glitched the entire game. Hold on. We'll do it. We're doing it. We're glitching the game. Don't worry. The glitching is happening right now. And there we go. So, when Keen is knocked off of a pole in this game, as long as he doesn't touch the pole again, he is specially shifted in such a way that treats the next door that he goes into, sorry for the bagpipes, like a special secret door in the second last level of the game, which warps you to the the secret level. And as it turns out, when you beat that level, which we can do very quickly by taking the secret exit, it kindly warps us to the end of the game. So we're right here. We're going to do a quick little death exit like we did in Keen 4. And now we're on the last level of the game. I hope you're staying with me, because now we're done with the hard part, and now Keen just gets to play the last level normally. The first thing we have to do is take care of the dog pit, the Shocksund pit. I don't know. It's got a name. The enemy is called the Shocksund, and they're the most random enemy in the game. Fortunately, it happened first try. I'm very happy that it happened first try. But this is a big old key collectathon. That's all we're doing. We're collecting keys. We need all 4 of them to finish the game. If this guy's really nice, he'll teleport. He was not really nice. Oh well. We'll just deal with it when we get to it. Oh, these are really synced. Cool. I'm just going to play this a wee bit safe. Good. And remember and this is what they look like? That's what the Shikadi look like, by the way. Hoi! Okay, got it. And that's the last time we'll see the Shikadi. Pretty cool. So we got all 4 keys. Play this safe too. Alright, so what are you doing, buddy? Actually, here, I'll save the game. We'll wait for him a bit. This guy just does what he feels like. If he feels like teleporting, he teleports. Good enough. Yep, that's why I saved it. That's why I saved it. There's exactly 1 pixel. Okay, now he's just trolling. We'll wait it. We'll wait it. We'll wait it. But he's random, like everything else in this game. He's super random. Okay, great. And then he left. Good. He didn't even teleport the same place. It's just random. It does what it wants. It's not even seeded to when you save the game. So, we have to blow up the quantum explosion dynamo, which we cannot unfortunately do with our shots fired. We got to do it with a Shikadi mine here. I'll go for the quick kill. Oh, and we got the quick kill. Very nice. So we just saved the galaxy. Pretty cool. Because we happened to do the secret exit in the secret level, we caused the Shikadi to get a double parking ticket and ruin their escape. Keen finds the plans, yada yada. It's written in standard galactic alphabet. So yeah, I don't know who it could possibly be. But who cares about that? Now we move on to... yes, thank you. Oh gosh, that would have been embarrassing if I had forgotten what that was called. Episode 6, Aliens Ate My Babysitter. The final episode of the game. If you thought the last episode or any of the other ones where we were doing glitches, you ain't seen nothing yet. So this marathon is called Shots Fired, and it just wouldn't be much of a finale if we weren't doing a lot of shots fired. So get ready for like the most shots fired in this series ever. We have what we call an impossible bullet trick, and it's caused by Keen being able to stand on bullets. Because he can stand on bullets, we can do stuff like this now. Which makes the game much faster than any other previous iteration of Commander Keen. So it's pretty good, but there's a lot of glitches going on. The most important of which is what I call platform teleportation. When Keen is standing on a platform and that platform no longer exists, which is kind of what's happening with the sprite that he stands on and then the bullet goes away. The game's really confused. Like, it ends up dumping that out of memory, but it still kind of technically exists because Keen is standing on something. So it'll just put him on the next available platform that exists, like, up or down, below or above it. So if we shoot straight up after letting the bullet disperse, we are instantaneously placed on the next bullet we fire. And this is what I call the rocket jump, which is a bit of an homage to, you know, Doom and, well, mostly Quake. Quake's rocket jumping. Doom technically had it, but let's so with that, we can go really, 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 really fast. So even though we have to play most of the levels in this game, this run is still incredibly short. Right here, for example, this is about a 2-minute level. We're going to finish it right about, now. Another thing that's happening, by the way, if you recall with death exits, you know, on the left or right side, there's this thing that will trigger the end of the level if you can touch it. Oh, that's not the right way to do that. When we duck right here, Keen tries to reorient himself, and that, like, puts his hitbox into the game's walls, and the game doesn't like that. The game says, what the heck did you do? What if it's fine? I'll just keep moving you up and to the right until you're no longer in solid matter. Come on. So the game kind of freaks out. I'm just gonna play this one safe, and eventually it just like kicks you out of the level, and then you just finish it. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We picked up a sandwich for that guy. Whatever. This is another pretty long level. Oh, that guy got in the way. Oh, what a disappointment. Reset. There is very little randomness in this run, but that's one of the major ones. Okay, so now this level, we stumble upon Bloog Foods, Bloog Bay. Oh, this is a hard level. Oh, there we go. Marathon luck is always third try on that level. So now for the final level, we're finally here. Now we get to perform what I call the double jump. Oh, I messed it up. Let's try it again. The double jump is by far the hardest variation of impossible bullet tricking. Basically, you just jump off of a bullet that you make in midair. And it's fairly precise. It's not as bad when you're playing on easy, but whatever, it's fine. So now... Hoi! Oh, dude, not cool. Not cool. I don't know if I have enough shots, so we're gonna pick these up. This is not the legit way to get this, by the way, but it's probably the easier way to do it. There's a really tiny pixel where you can get it. Anyway, let's try again. Yay, we did it. That's hard to do, especially when you're not playing on easy. One time I tried learning that on like normal difficulty. Don't do that. Don't be stupid like me. So now we do a bunch of really tough jumps. Oh, come on, get out of the way. Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's not how you do that. So we're on the last room of the entire series. Making some jumps. That was not it. That's fine. I usually do this part quite fun. Okay, so make a jump here, shoot into the wall, and there we go. We grab the babysitter. Don't time just yet. I gotta say this. I gotta talk about it. So we rescued our babysitter. That was the plot. We gotta rescue our babysitter from aliens. She happens to be Mortimer McMeyer's sister, and she kindly informs us that he's planning to blow up the universe. So we gotta take care of that. And now it's time. Now it's time. It's time. There we go. It's time. So there we go. Okay. Sorry, you could have hit time then, but I usually wait until I hit right here. So yeah, that's Keen Heptalogy. It starts out pretty straightforward, almost bland, and it turns into a massive, like, what is this game I'm even watching? So there we go. Hopefully that was fun. Hopefully that was a good time. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back in a few days. I don't know. So stick around. Lots more shots fired coming at you. And hopefully, it'll probably be a game that's, like newer than this. But, stick around and watch them.